Hey guys, it's Mike. Look at this. Scott released the sister location Steam page, as well as the IndieDB page. So to start off, I think we should read the introductory blurb that Scott posted. He actually posted one for Steam and one for IndieDB. So let's start with Steam, I suppose. It says, "Welcome to Circus Baby's Pizza World." So I suppose Baby's full name is Circus Baby. Alright then. Remember how on the scottgames.com source code we saw that some of the animatronics were being booked throughout the week? Well, I think this might be a clue to what they're being booked for. They're being booked for a circus. And when they're not being booked, I suppose they're available to be used in a restaurant to entertain the kids and families. Anyway, let's keep going. Where family fun and interactivity go beyond anything you've seen at those other pizza places. I assume this is a wink to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and Fredbear's Family Diner. Now hiring late night technician. This is obviously in reference to the player. Now this is really interesting because in previous games we usually played as the night guard, while here we play as the technician, which means we're probably not gonna be sitting around at an office all day watching cameras. We're actually gonna be moving around to repair the various machines in the different rooms. Now, am I saying that this game is gonna have free roam? Probably not, but we may have something similar to what we had in FNAF 4, where you could move around the room, except this time it would be a little bit more sophisticated, since instead of just being able to move around the room, you would be able to move between different rooms. How exactly that's gonna work, I don't know, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Also, do you guys remember in the scottgames.com source code, we saw like the different days of the week with different terms like booked, private maintenance, etc.? Well, that actually makes a lot more sense now, considering that you are a technician. And since it says you are a late night technician, I think it's safe to assume that this game is gonna follow the same system as previous games, where you start the night at 12 a.m. and you have to survive until 6 a.m. And then it says must enjoy cramped spaces and be comfortable around active machinery. Now what I find interesting about this sentence is the cramped spaces. If you remember, in the sister location trailer, there was a shot where you saw someone or something moving through the vents. Now originally, I thought this was the perspective of the animatronics, but now after reading this, I think this might actually be the perspective of the player. Now again, I'm not claiming that this game is gonna have free roam. I think it's gonna be something similar to FNAF 4, but instead of a running animation, it's gonna be a going through the vents animation. And then finally the blurb says, not responsible for death or dismemberment, which sort of follows in the same vein as the original FNAF trilogy with the, comically irresponsible and shady corporation. But anyway, that's it for the Steam description. Now let's go over to the IndieDB description. It's similar to the one on Steam, except it has one sentence that the Steam blurb doesn't have, and that is, with cutting-edge animatronic entertainers that will knock your kids' socks off, as well as customized pizza catering, no party is complete without Circus Baby and the gang. Now first, I want to focus on cutting-edge animatronic entertainers. I assume this implies that these animatronics are newer models than the ones in the previous FNAF games, and more advanced somehow. Second of all, I want to focus on the customized pizza catering. Notice that it says pizza catering, not just pizza, implying this doesn't just mean that the customers are going to be able to choose whatever ingredients they want in their pizza. Maybe this actually means that the animatronics are the ones actually delivering the pizzas to the customers, and people can customize which animatronic they want to deliver the pizza to them, and maybe they can even choose to have a song be played through the animatronic's chest speakers. For example, if it's some kid's birthday, the parents can decide that the animatronic will have the happy birthday song playing as he delivers the pizza or cake to the kid. And finally, notice how it says no party is complete without Circus Baby and the gang, confirming once again that Circus Baby is Baby's full name. Alright, now let's move on to the screenshots. So in this first screenshot, if you look above the vent, you can see what appears to be a mask of Ennard. I'm not sure if it'll have any gameplay significance, but I don't think so. It seems like just a gameplay decoration, similar to the animatronic heads in the hallways in FNAF 3. Then if you look to the left of the vent, you can see a clock with Baby's face. Again, I don't think there's too much gameplay significance there. To the right of the vent, you can see a speaker. I'm assuming that every room in the game is gonna have one such speaker in it so that the phone guy or whoever it is can talk to you. Now, if you look at the bottom left of this picture, you can see a bunch of weird, creepy faces. And if you look at the bottom right of the picture, you can see some new animatronic that we haven't seen before. Also, on the ceiling of this room, you can see a camera. Not sure if that camera has any kind of gameplay use to it. I'm guessing it's just it there as a prop in the environment. Now, remember that panel with 2 buttons on it from last teaser? Well, there are 2 of them in this room, one in clear sight on the right and one barely visible in the bottom left corner. I assume pressing the top button would turn on the light behind the glass windows, and like I said in my last teaser video, maybe the bottom button could push back the animatronic or maybe even close some kind of door, like with Bonnie. I'm not sure, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. And finally, there is a poster on a window here, and if you brighten it up, you will see it's a picture of Funtime Foxy with the words party time. This next screenshot we've already seen in the trailer, which I have analyzed in a previous video, so let's skip it. Now this image is interesting. We finally see an actual animatronic in the room with you. Funtime Freddy. You can even see the Bonnie puppet on his right hand faintly. Other than that, not much is shown about this room. There is a red little panel on the left, not sure if it has any kind of function to it. There's also a pair of yellowish lights above Funtime Freddy. Could that possibly be Ennard? This room has a lot of wires in it, and Ennard is associated with these wires as seen in the teaser. I don't know, what do you guys think? After that we have the vents, which we've seen in the trailer, and then after that we have what appears to be the main office. Now this room has been shown in the trailer, but I do want to bring your attention to a few things that are interesting. First of all, if you look at the bottom right, you can see the panel shown in the last teaser is also present in this room as well. I'm not sure if it's the only one or if there's actually a second one on the left part of the room. And also look at the top right, you can finally see this poster in higher definition, and it confirms what some people have thought, that the little creature next to Baby is the same creature shown in one of the latest teasers, and also there seems to be 2 of them rather than 1 as we originally thought. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. That was my little analysis of the new Steam/IndieDB page by Scott, and it does show a release date on the Steam page. It says available October 2016, which means it's going to be available this evening. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I hope you found this video informative. If I've missed anything, don't hesitate to leave me a comment, and otherwise I'll see you guys next time. Peace.